Welcome and let's get started. In this presentation, you're going to learn why your dog doesn't listen to you, how you can get your dog to listen to you, and how to get even better results with your dog. This presentation is mainly for puppy owners, adult dog owners, dogs with behavioral issues, new dog owners, if you're thinking of getting a dog, and everybody in between. So it's for everybody. If you have dogs who have behavioral issues, definitely this is going to help you as well. It's a very broad topic, and we're going to talk about a lot of things. Okay, so make sure that you are taking notes. And as I said, Q&A will be available at the end of the session. My name is Saro. If you're new here, everybody knows me as Saro Dog Training. I'm a dog trainer and also coach dog owners. And I have had many dogs. One of them was Beagle. One of my first Beagles was Jonah the Beagle. He passed away a few years ago, 3 years ago, at the age of 16. At the moment, I have Harvey the Beagle and Annie the Beagle mix. So I'm very happy at the moment, and this is my family. I just added Annie in this picture. This picture was taken before when we only had Harvey and Jonah. I wish we had Annie as well at the same time. So I just added her in there. So that would be a perfect family for me if I had all these three at the same time. But that's my wife, that's me, and my dogs, except Jonah. Jonah has passed away. I'm the owner of doggy daycare called Jonah's Ark, and also run the Saro Dog Training as well. I'm the author of few books, 2 Simple Changes to Make Today to Improve Your Dog's Behavioral Issues Tomorrow. Understanding Rescue Dogs. This is a book that actually a rescue organization has used it as a Bible to teach and educate dog owners who are going to rescue dogs. And also, I'm also the author of best-selling book, A Dog's 5 Essential Needs. I wrote this book a few years ago, and I still get a lot of feedback about it from my readers and my fans and my viewers. And I have been very active on YouTube. I've been on Global TV. I have a podcast on Podbean. I have trained a lot of dog owners. I have done agility training. I have done behavioral issues training. I have done basic obedience training, and I've created a course which is called Hike and Fun training course, where I take dog owners with their dogs on a lovely hikes in beautiful British Columbia, and we not only enjoy the hikes, but we also learn a lot about how to manage our dogs outdoors. And I'm also creator of the online course Naked Dog Training. The reason I call it Naked Dog Training because we don't use any tools or gadgets. Your dog doesn't need to be trained doesn't need to be trained with any of the tools or gadgets or anything, even treats. I have met and had conversations with many celebrities and known and not very well known trainers and professionals and people like Cesar Milan, Rodney Habib, and this is Matt Baden. He's a new dog trainer who has taken over Cesar Milan, Dr. Judy as well, and Fern Dog Training. I have many of our conversations actually with these people on my YouTube channel as well. And my day job is basically to work and take care of dogs, but also on the side, I do training as well. So my passion of dog training started many years ago when I got my first Beagle. Jonah was the spark that got me started in understanding dog, training dogs, and how to train dogs and how to understand dogs. He was actually my teacher. The reason for that was because he didn't show any interest in treats. He wasn't treat motivated. So that made me wonder, why is it that my dog is not showing any interest in treats? So I got interested in learning, how do I train Jonah, who's not food motivated. So I wanted to learn how to connect with him and how to train him in a healthy way without using treats or food or anything like that. So that's how my journey of dog training started. I started educating myself and learning about dogs and dog training. I went to actual training school. I educated, I learned, and I got certified as well. I started researching to understand and learn about how to have a healthy method of dog training, that I wanted to get 100% result from the dog training. I wanted to get 100% focus, and I wanted also to bond with my dog. This was very important for me. I don't know if you're a dog owner, as a dog owner yourself, I'm sure you always want to have a great bond with your dog. You don't want just to train the dog. You want to have a good relationship with your dog, right? So that was my goal. I wanted to have a healthy version of connecting with my dog. So there's where my research started, and I became a dog trainer who could control dogs. So for example, this is a picture of me taking some of the dogs to a studio called Studio 2 Photography to take pictures of these dogs with me for using in everywhere that I wanted. And the photographer had booked me for half a day. And I thought, okay, that's kind of extreme, but half a day to take this photo of me with dogs was the challenge. But when we got there, we set it up, and I asked the dogs to sit and lie down or just stay, and they stayed. And as you can see, we took the picture, and that was it. We were done. Within a few minutes, we were done after arriving to the photo studio. So as you can see, they are well behaved, they're well under control, including my dog Jonah that I have the circle around. As you can see, he's the most coolest dog of all of them. All our other dogs, they have their mouths open. That means they're stressed or anxious, right? But except Jonah. Jonah was the coolest as cucumber. That's because I worked on him. I had a great relationship with him. I had built a great trust with him. So he knew exactly what was going on. So he relaxes instead of getting anxious or stressed. So that shows the benefits of training your dog. That's what you're going to get if you train your dog. So let's start understanding why your dog doesn't listen to you, even though you have treats. When you have treats and you're presenting your dog treats, why is it that your dog doesn't listen to you? Does that happen to you? Do you have a dog who, even though you have treats, you are calling your dog or you're doing things with treats, it doesn't care or it doesn't listen or you don't get results? If you have one, let me know. So why is it that dogs don't listen to us? Because they have been bred and designed by humans for humans. I want you to understand this. I want you to really understand this concept. Dogs, the reason we breed dogs is because we want them to live happily ever after with us. If they were devils, if they were evil, if they were horrible creatures, we wouldn't breed them. So we have engineered, designed, and bred them for us because they are good. They are great creatures. They're great animals to have them around. And if you have a dog in your life, you know how it feels. It's the best thing that you can ever imagine, right? So understanding this one thing, I think it will change your point of view, overall point of view. Dogs have been bred and designed for humans, by humans, for humans. So using treats, it's not a natural thing for dogs. Dogs are not born with treat training skills. They don't know what treat training is. And unfortunately or fortunately, you have to teach your dog the skills of treat training, right? So treats are not something that they are born to know what is it for and be used. Dog breeders, they didn't breed this skill in the dogs of dogs knowing how to be treat trained. So it's not a natural thing for dogs, for us actually, to use treats. When you start teaching them with treats, you start a disaster domino effect. So what that means is, if I'm using treats, if I start using treats with my dog, I have to first of all figure out what treats that I need to use with my dog. I need to know how to use the treats to train my dog. I need to know when to give the treats and when not to give the treats. I need to learn a lot of stuff when I'm working with treats, right? There's a skill that you have to learn and know when it comes to using treat training. The dog owner, first of all, has to learn and know how to use treats. And then the dog has to learn also how to be trained with treats. So again, when you start doing that, when you start yourself using treats to train your dog, a lot of things starts going wrong, because you start messing up with the unnatural behavior of a dog, and also you start creating these complications and confusion in you and your dog. So therefore, what happens, you start not getting results. Because look at this, when you think about training, what are the things that you think that dog owners or dog professionals will suggest you to have and get? All these tools. You have to get all these tools in order to get started to train your dog. We're forgetting that all of these are not necessary. None of these is necessary, actually. None of these tools, pouches, treats, food, this leash, this collar, that collar, this shock collar, that thing, these are all useless. We don't need to use them, right? So how do you start to make the difference in your mindset? I want you to start removing all these from your vocabulary and not even focus on them. Start with making small changes. And remind yourself of the new normal, which is actually not using treats. And I'll tell you what you should be using instead. So before you do anything with your dog, think before you do anything, and then remind yourself, am I using treats? Am I using all of these tools to train my dog? If you remind yourself, I think that's the first step. Because look at this, when you are using treats, look at what the dog is paying attention to. If you literally follow the dog's eye point of view, is looking at the treat. This is a dog who's disconnected from the human. And it's all focused on the treat. I don't care if dog professionals and dog trainers, they say, no, you need to get the dog to pay attention to you using treats. But you can visually see what the dog is paying attention to. The dog is paying attention to treats. So remind yourself and just don't depend on treats. Remove treats out of your, baggage or bag of tools. Tools you shouldn't be using. You don't need any tools. Look at these dogs. They only pay attention to treats. Of course, dogs love, just like humans, they love food. It doesn't mean that they hate it. It's just that they're all focused on the treat, and that's all you get. You get a dog who's focused and just pays attention to treats. Like, this is an example of one of my students where I have trained this person this family, Janice and Gordon, they had a dog called Gunner. They said Saro uses a great system for training dogs. His system requires our self-discipline. You have to learn to discipline yourself. And because of his lessons, we now understand how important our role is in creating a well-balanced dog. We have noticed a big improvement in Gunner's obedience. This is an example of me educating dog owners and helping to understand that you need to self-discipline yourself so you will be a good role model for your own dog. So look at this. This is not a natural thing to do. This puppy is not supposed to, we're not supposed to be using treats to train it. It's very confusing. The puppy doesn't know what's going on. The owner doesn't know what it's supposed to do. This is all wrong. This is all wrong. What I mean by all wrong, this is not how you should be training your dog. First of all, you shouldn't be using treats to train your dog. And second of all, you shouldn't be training a dog like that. So the reason for that is because lately the science has kind of come to the picture of understanding dog a little bit more. Dr. Gregory Burns, what he did research that he collected many dogs and asked them and trained them to be comfortable in an MRI machine. And he made them to lie down in the MRI machine and read their brain activity while they were in the MRI machine. And he figured out a massive information and very important information. I'm going to let you listen to some of the results of what he has discovered during this research. Let's listen.
We've done this probably in over 20 dogs. And the orange areas show what parts of the brain are more active to this reward signal, this hot dog signal. Now, what I want to emphasize is the brain response is not directly to hot dogs, it's to the hand signal that means hot dogs. And you may think, well, that's not a big deal, it's still hot dogs, right? And it's no surprise that dogs like hot dogs. But it is a big deal because we train this signal. It's a symbolic representation of a hot dog that the dog has learned and has learned to recognize this meaning. And the particular parts of the brain that are being active are the reward system. Those kind of two hot spots, those headlight type picture, that's in an area of the brain called the caudate nucleus. And it's the area of the brain that all mammals have, and it's the area that has the most dopamine receptors in the brain. It's kind of the key center that links reward and motivation with action. So normally when that's active in a human or really any other animal, it means that something important has happened and the animal needs to do something. In this case, it's quite simple because they will just eat the hot dogs.
That is amazing, right? That is an amazing discovery that the dogs are not interested in the treat that we're giving. Dogs are interested in the hand that gives the treat. That is very important. Dogs are not interested in the food that you're sharing with your dog. The dog is interested in you. And by understanding that, I think you're going to change the way, again, you look at your dog and dog training in general. Dogs are not interested or excited about treats or food. They're excited about you. You are the only thing that it matters to your dog, right? Understanding that will lead us to understand also how do dogs learn. How do they learn? They learn from you and by you because they are very interested in you. They are in love with you and they want to be doing everything that they can to make you happy, to make your life better. They want to just be your star. They want you to have the best time, and they want to have the best time with you. So you are the best thing that happens to your dog. And the way you can start getting results from your dog is to dedicate 15 minutes to 30 minutes a day, few days a week, or once a week to focus on your dog. Not even saying to train your dog. I just want you to focus on your dog. Just spend time with your dog. Literally want you to be with your dog in the moment for 15 minutes, 30 minutes. Use this time as an escape from reality and create a bubble to create a new reality. So escape the reality of life, whatever is happening in the world, especially these days, and create a new reality with your dog, which is me and my dog spending just time together. There are so many things that we can do together. This makes you to develop a real relationship with the nature. Your dog is part of nature. With nature, your dog, and yourself. So use this time as an escape, as I said, right? And you're going to develop a relationship, a healthy relationship with your dog. Just spend some time with your dog. Dedicate some days in the week for dog time only, right? You can groom your dog. You can just have fun with your dog. You can do a lot of things, right? Just figure out and identify the day and time that you can spend with your dog. Maybe plan ahead, plan and put it in your calendar. Plan what you will need to do to make this happen, to make your dog, to make you to spend some quality time with your dog. What would it take for you to plan that in your calendar so your dog can get 15 minutes to 30 minutes of you time with it every few days of the week? You can just hang out at home with you. Now, these days, because of what is happening, you can just hang out with your dog for 15 minutes, just maybe in bed. Maybe take your puppy or your dog to the park and hang out for 15 minutes with your dog at the park, right? Maybe take your dog for 15 minutes, half an hour walk with your dog. Whatever it takes, whatever you can do, just spend a quality time with your dog. Practicing. So we're going to practice using play. All dogs love to play. So while we're sitting, I'm going to reward him with a play. He loves to play. He loves to play. Harvey, sit. Go get it. Yes, that's it. Get it. So I also suggest you to train your dog. When it comes to training, it's not that, one of the parts that many dog owners hate is to train their dog. You can play with your dog and train your dog at the same time. You're saying, how is that possible? The more quality time that you spend with your dog, the better your dog gets. This makes you to develop a real relationship with your dog, and the results are priceless. You're also going to get some good results in your training your dog as well. Why? Because as one of my students again has said, that you want your dog to be best behaved dog ever. Well, go no further to take a big breath. First of all, I have learned that training is a lifelong journey with your dog, not a 6-week course that magically turns your dog into Lassie. There is no such a thing. Saro's course takes you step by step, and progressively you will learn how to communicate with your dog. Every human that trains their dog has a different timeline, and Saro's course sets you up for success with learning basic commands that builds a strong foundation. This foundation will allow you to communicate with your dog and lead you and your best friend toward a stronger bond. I have learned so much and feel proud of my dog and continue to learn more. It is one wonderful journey, and a gift we as dog owners have been given. To have a dog is the best gift. Whatever you put in your dog, he or she will give it back 100 times more. So this is coming from one of my students, Heather Meyer, with her dog named Josh. And you see, even my students, they say, whatever time you put on, you will get 100 times back. right? So start training your puppy or your dog using play and praise reward system. This is the natural method of training dogs, not treats. The reason your dog doesn't listen to you because you're using treats. It's an unnatural tool to use. But if you use play and praise and you use this method and have fun with your dog and you get excited to train your dog is going to love you even more and is going to learn faster and better. When you use play and praise, this makes you to want to train your dog, and you're going to get results because you are training your dog, because you are having fun. You can even, that 15 minutes, 30 minutes that you're spending with your dog throughout the day, you can, instead of, thinking about what treats or food do I use, instead stock up on dog toys instead of treats. This makes your dog be less focused on food or eating and a lot more on you. You wanna get attention from your dog? Play with it. I guarantee you. You can reward your dog with the following: play, praise, games, other dogs, walks, sleep on your lap. These are all great opportunities for you to reward your dog. So what you're going to have to do is just to automate. I call it the automation process, because once it becomes a habit to you, and then you do this on weekly basis and practice this behavior and new way of training your dog, it is going to become normal. I never really wanted to use treats to train dogs, and I'm not even thinking about using treats to train my dogs or any dog. And I get great results. So here's an example. In this video, I'm going to hit the bell icon to a game that you can play with your dog that is not only fun. So here's an example of me training Harvey using a game. This is one example of the games that I teach you in my online course as well. It's also beneficial for you and your dog from point of view of training and also providing healthy mental and physical stimulation for your dog. So all you're going to need is a kind of a table, any table that you don't use, or a coffee table that you don't use, or any box or anything. You can even use a couch or a chair, whatever that your dog can get on it. The idea here is coming from the agility game that we play with our dogs. We use a table as one of the obstacles in the game of agility. In this case, we are practicing the table game, which we're going to use it as a game that you can play here and there. Not every day. You don't have to play this game every day, maybe 2 or 3 times a week, or maybe once a week. Whenever you have an opportunity, you can play this game. So all you have to do is use that table and ask your dog to get on the table. I challenge you not to use treats to get your dog motivated to get on the table. As you know from my channel, I don't support or suggest to use treats to get your dog to do something or train your dog. So all you have to do is use yourself, use any power that you have within yourself to motivate your dog to get on the table, and just get on and get off the table. So me and Harvey, we're going to demonstrate this. There are a few steps that we can start working on. We're going to start with the step 1, which is just getting on and off the table. So let's see if we can get Harvey on the table. Harvey, on, stay, good boy. Okay, good boy, yes, yeah. So simply we're just asking, when Harvey gets excited or happy, he barks. Just typical bingo. So I'm going to ask him again one more time to get on the table. Harvey, on. Harvey, off. Good boy, yes. Again, you can use a chair or whatever. Harvey, on. Harvey, off. Good boy, on. Good boy. Good boy. Okay. So all you're asking your dog to do is just get on the table and off. You can practice this a few times before you get into the next level. I suggest you to work on just getting on and off with your dog. As long as your dog needs, you know your dog better. I would say at least a week or two and maximum a month. So devote and dedicate some time just to get your dog to get on and off the table without using treats or food. Just help your dog to get on the table without any tools, any treats, force, or domination. Okay? Just motivate your dog to do it without any food or treats. So the next level would be we're going to ask our dog to sit and stay on the ground, and then we're going to ask our dog to get on the table and sit and stay on the table. Harvey, sit, stay. Harvey, table, sit, stay. So now our work or homework is to get our dog to sit and stay on the table. In agility, usually they ask the dog to sit and stay, to lie down and stay for 5 seconds, 5 counts. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and go. All right? So yes, good boy. So that's your next challenge, to ask your dog to sit and stay on the table. The longer you can ask your dog to stay, the better. So here it is where obedience comes in hand. So sit, stay. Now, the next level would be to ask our dog to lie down and stay. Let's do that. So Harvey, come. Sit. Stay. Harvey, table. Sit. Down. Stay. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and go. Good boy, yeah! He loves it. He loves this game. Every dog has a game that they really, it's a simple game that they really love. And this game, just being on the table and just interacting with me, he just loves it. He just loves this interaction. It doesn't have to be complicated. You don't have to invest in hundreds of or thousands of dollars of games or things to do with your dog. A simple table can become an interactive game, especially that you're interacting with your dog. So games like this can be not only beneficial in training your dog, teaching your dog to sit, stay, lie down, things like that, obedience. It also gives you an opportunity to interact with your dog, get to know your dog better. Having table, sit, stay. It makes you to be in control. Your dog is under control. Your dog is mentally and physically interacting and is using its brain, and physically and mentally it gets stimulated, which is very good for their health and mind and body. You saw the interaction that I had with my dog, right? That's all I'm asking you to do. I basically play and train my dog, my puppy, at the same time. My dogs, they always have been trained and always been taught to learn something using play and praise. When I say play and praise, we dive into this content even deeper in my online courses and all that. But here's another example. So here's Annie. So I want you to see the possibilities of training your dog without the use of treats or food, or aversive tools, force, or domination. First, I'm going to start with giving her verbal and hand signal cues for her to listen to the command. And come, and sit, go down, stay. Good job. This time, only hand signals, no verbal cues. Everything is possible with proper training, proper knowledge and understanding of how you should do it. It is possible to train dogs without the use of treats or food. It is healthier, it is much beneficial, and it is more effective. To learn more, make sure to subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon as well so you will get notified as soon as I post my next video. And go. Good girl. And sit. And stay. And down. Good girl. So use play and praise. You can see the results of using play and praise. That's how I train dogs, and you can get the same thing results as well. So basically, the reason your dog doesn't listen to you, even though you have treats, is that dogs don't value food as much as we think they do. Also, we don't play with our dogs and train them enough. We don't invest time and spend enough time to to put the energy to teach our dog using play and praise. It's something that is very unknown. And I want you to learn that the secret sauce of a healthier dog training is dog training using play and praise as a reward system. If you do that, if you use this method, you will get results. So take this info and steps a little bit further. I want you to go a little bit further. So you're going to ask, how is it possible? So I want you to work with me one-on-one. So 24/7. I want you to be my student 24/7. I can teach you everything that you need to know 24/7. I am going to be available for you 24/7. I have taught and trained over thousands of students online, offline, everywhere.